But your number one player for defensive tackles in the 2024 draft class is?
Texas fight, yeah, Texas fight. Yeah, Texas fight. One of my favorite guys at the Combine, too. Not only like one of my favorite players to watch in the draft, but one of my favorite humans that I met in the draft process. Byron Murphy II from Texas, the Longhorns. Yes. I mean, incredible ball of muscle and explosion. That's what he is. You talk about muscle explosion, pliable, bendable, right? Disruption, yet can hold his ground at an incredible rate for a guy that's, not the biggest defensive tackle in the world, right? All of that is amazing, right? The athleticism's amazing. So that's where I look at it right off the bat and go, wait, not only can this guy just win with pure explosion, quickness, be disruptive, do those type of things, right? The next play on defense, they go, hey, wait, we need to play shade nose, and now we need you to hold your ground and don't be disruptive and don't let them move you. And he can do that too, right? Along the lines of that conversation we were just having of the versatility there. So he's awesome that way. He's awesome in one-on-one. He's very good and a good anchor for a guy his size against the double teams. And like a Jalen Carter last year, he wins wrestling matches, right? Where it's like, okay, it's a stalemate, and he's on a knee, and it looks like he might not. Oh, what? He got the guy off him, and then he still made the tackle, right? That to me was very Jalen Carter-ish of last year, where I'd see times where I'd go, he's on both knees, and he just fought the guy off and got up and made a tackle. And that's what's incredible about this guy. He is a big ball of muscle, my man Byron Murphy.
Yeah, he was the Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. His teammate, actually, T'Vondre Sweat, was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Perhaps we'll get to him here.
I got to say something about that.
Yeah.
Okay. That to me, I don't even know how that's possible.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Right? You watched a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I want to be silly and go, all the people that vote for Big 12 things, their votes need to be rescinded. Like, they got to be rescinded. How can you watch a game of Texas and not go, number 90 is the best player on their defense, and you're going to give it to the other guy? Just why? Because he's big? He's the biggest person out there? That to me is like just, I don't even get it. One guy is dominating and everywhere. The other guy, you see him every now and then. Let's make him the Defensive Player of the Year. Like, what a crock of shit that is.
I'll tell you what, if you run at T'Vondre Sweat, it's not going to be fun.
Well, no.
But if you run a little bit away from him, I think you're going to be okay.
You're okay. Right,
Yeah.
right. Let alone, again, T'Vondre Sweat, there's plays where you just go, hey, I'd like to see more. You're too big and strong to be blocked that easily, or to be that content with being blocked, right?
Yeah. Let's not make this a bash on Sweat.
No, we're not. We're going to talk about Sweat later.
So we're more on Murphy here.
Yeah.
But first, like you mentioned, you did talk to him at the Combine. You fell in love with him.
Yeah.
Maybe a man crush here.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a man crush.
It's a man crush for sure.
So here is what he said to you guys at the Combine.
What do I do best? Stop the run. I feel like that's what I do best. I feel like I'm a force in the run game. I feel like whatever needs to be done in the run, I'm there. I make plays. I can just stop the run at any time.
You can't move your ass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's strong and you're compact.
All right. I've been knowing that like ever since I was a child. Like I always been like just
you've always had the rocked up. 8 years old, you were like everyone was like, damn, he's got muscles.
Yeah, I came out swole, so like I've been like this. I really been like this my whole life. So.
He came out.
He's
swole.
awesome. He's awesome. He really is. It looks like he came out swole because I always start my evaluations with a talk of the body. Right. My first paragraph is usually just talking in the body, kind of painting that picture in my own brain. Right. And, just a ball of power, not sloppy, dense as hell. Love his legs. Legs are elite. Yeah, he's 6 foot, but he's high cut waist and his arm length is not bad for being, 6 feet tall. But this is one that it's kind of a no-brainer. As soon as you turn it on, you just go, wait, one guy's getting off the ball way quicker than everybody else. One guy is extremely explosive. Who's that guy? Oh, it's number 90, right? The get-off, the quicks, the change of direction, right? They're off the charts for his size, right? His strength is off the charts. The bend, acceleration, like we talked about, the pliable, the fluidity of his movements is really impressive, right? Extremely powerful at the point of attack, right? Low pads, speeds, great legs, right? Can anchor in there against double teams, right? Wins in a lot of weird positions like I talked about. That to me is essential for, like, you look at good tackles in the NFL, right? You're not going to always be in a good position. Like, you know, that when the tackle and guard double team every now and then, you're going to be like, whoa, I'm bent over sideways. And how do you recover off that? Are you going to go into the ground and just get, you know, pancaked? Or are you going to be able to somehow fight it off and get back into the play a little bit?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you got to do that because you're going to have a handful of plays in every NFL game that are going to be like that. He is amazing at that. His balance is unreal, right? When you try to cut block him, go at his legs, maybe he is engaged with somebody and then somebody hits him on the side, right? Like a lineman who's going up to the second level. He stays on balance, right? He's always where he's supposed to be. He's got very good hands. He's got great instincts and eyes. He sees the ball. He sees what's going on. Even as he's being blocked or double teamed, you can tell, right? He's got that no regard for his body aspect that I like. Oh, I'm being blocked, but the guy's running through here. I'm just going to let him, I'm going to go out there and put my head and face in there. He's going to hit me and I'm going to take a big shot, but he's going to get tackled. He's going down. He had that. So that's what I really, really loved about him. But the ability to get off blocks was special as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do it a lot of different ways. I loved watching him, and I do have a man crush, by the way.
His strength, awareness, his balance against Alabama. He had 5 pressures. I looked at all those. He split double teams, showed some speed around the edge on one pressure, did that against Oklahoma as well. So he's got some quickness here. Yeah. So the strength and all that is there. You did mention it, the size and the height. So if we look at his decagon here, it is going to be an interesting looking decagon because the athletic stuff there, he's got massive hands in the 97th percentile. The 40-yard dash was in the 91st percentile. The 10-yard split,
incredible.
83rd. Height, though, in the 2nd percentile. Weight, 28th. Wingspan, 14th. And arm length, a little bit longer, but still below average at 22.
Yeah, that's what will stop him from being a top 10 or top 12 pick in the draft. That's going to end that, right? But that's why, you know, I think somewhere between 15 and 25 in that range, right? That's when I think we see the door open up for Byron Murphy. I do. You know, he's a little different, right? He's not going to make some of the old school, wait, I got to have a defensive tackle with this kind of wingspan and all that. They're not going to feel comfortable. But as we're seeing in the NFL right now, there's value with these guys, this disruption guys, right? Teams aren't just like we talk about lining up in the same place every time. Or even if they're lining up in the same place, they're asking their guys like, hey, when he says set hut, we want you to go 2 gaps over. We want you to slant this way. We want you to stunt that way, right? So he's going to be really good at that. And then when I look at it too and go, he's the kind of guy where when you stunt, and we talk about this a lot of times where, like, you know, guys being asked to stunt and slant a lot, and he gets moved easily. And I go, well, yeah, he's told to go that way, and now he's got a 320-pound man on his back. It's hard to stop, right? He's one of the few people you're going to find out there that can kind of like do that and then be like, no, I'm stopping, even though you're on my back trying to push me the way I was going, right? So that's where he's damn good, right? But yeah, this is more along the lines of a guy we talked about in the top 5 from last year. It's a Kalijah Kancey. It's an Aaron Donald-ish type of football player. It's a Sheldon Rankins, who was a first-rounder out of Louisville. I think he's better than Sheldon Rankins coming out. There's no doubt about it, right? I think it's better than Kalijah Kancey last year, and I love Kalijah Kancey. Kalijah might have been more athletic. I think this guy's stouter and more powerful. That's where I really like him. One-on-ones versus guards, forget about it, right? He's phenomenal. Right? What else? What do you want to add to that? I know you wanted to say something.
I looked up his negative because PFF separates the negatively graded run plays. And so I always like to look at those guys like, how are they getting, when they get beat, how do they get beat?
Yes, right.
And his were almost exclusively, and this was rare for the other, his were almost exclusively double teams where he did a pretty good job of holding his ground. It wasn't
bad. Like he just gets hit and he gets turned. He might lose a yard or two, but you're like, okay. I mean, you're going to get.
Everyone else kind of lost some one-on-one battles. Like it rarely
never
showed up
loses
on his
a one-on-one. Right. It's so rare. Really damn good player. Like we said, I think we hit it all really when it comes to him and somehow, some way. But, you know, can get skitty, arm over, you know, speed to power, the power rip, right, where he runs into somebody and like jars him back and then he rips him to the ground and goes by him, right? He can avoid a blocker and go around him and make a tackle that way. Got a little spin move you see in the pass rush. Really, impressive football player. No question the number one defensive tackle in the draft for me.
PFF said perhaps nothing better sums up Murphy's strength than that he played nose tackle despite 360-pound Tavondre Sweat's presence along Texas's defensive line.
It's context clues. We talk about that, right, with the DBs and some of these guys. That says a lot. Hey, we got a huge human, one of the biggest on earth.
Yeah.
We don't want him being here. We think you're actually stronger than he is.
So this is where he's being mocked right now, about in the top 20s. He was like a third-round guy back in December.
Gosh,
so now
was he really?
The real professionals have started to take a look at some tape here and give their feedback because he has shot up now. And so he looks like
just inside of 20 now, maybe.
But you think that maybe like what, 10 to 20 range?
I think that's about it, right? I would like to be more specific, probably 12 to 20, 12 to 25 maybe. But right in that range, that's kind of where I would see it happening.
I think his value is 29 to the Detroit Lions in the first round. I think that's probably would be proper value.
You don't need
Anything
else
else would
him.
Be an overdraft.
You
we'll
got
take
enough big people and D linemen now. You're all right.
I just want to have options when we get to number 29.
You want just the best team ever. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Yo, homies, what's up? I know it's the off season, but it's never the off season on Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Me and Ahmed Fareed are going to be here for it all. We got free agency. We're going to break it all down. The draft, the rankings of positions. Of course, we're going to unpack it all. Hit subscribe, get to my free agency reactions, 2024 draft rankings, and more. Thanks again for watching. Peace out, homies. See you soon.